Oh, hit button. And there we are. Oh, there it is. And on that note, we are now live. Let me just make sure I can hear myself. And there we are. All right, perfect. We're live. There it is. All right, let me just turn that down. All right, let me just put on the Xenoblade tunes and... All right. Well, here goes nothing. Hey everybody, Fish Talk is here. Today I'm going to be streaming my 13.0 Link matchup chart because it's been a while since my last matchup chart, and also I've gotten a lot better at the game. I understand the game more, and just really, my last matchup chart was pretty bad. I was only going off of online tournaments and online, but with offline coming back and watching other characters playing tournament, I'm going to offline tournaments again, so I get experience, and I'm just better at understanding the game. Here's a new updated matchup chart. Keep in mind that I am still a mid-level player, so if I get opinions wrong, please let me know. I'm down to take some criticism. And if you're in a chat, because I'm not doing this and I'm not putting characters who's worse or better in each tier, if you just want to request characters, go ahead. This is just going to be out of order. Sit back and relax, and I'm going to talk my lungs out for the next probably hour and a half or hour. So, here we go. Let's begin. So, starting off, Banjo-Kazooie. I'm going to place this in +1. So, fun fact, I actually went to a tournament and got beaten pretty badly by Banjo, but I'm pretty sure that was just me being bad at the matchup. Hey, Jesus. But I still think Link wins despite me getting hit pretty hard because I feel like that was me not knowing the matchup and the player just being better than me. So, Banjo is good at camping. I won't deny that. Well, not the best at camping, but he can zone slower characters out. The problem is that if you just outcamp Banjo and just force him to use Wonder Wing, he just struggles. Your damage output, even just per hit, is stronger than his like fancy egg combos because his like rising egg jumps that does like 30%. You could just do the same amount of damage in a boomerang forward air to him. Exploitable disadvantage. I don't want to say it's too bad because his 2-framing is still pretty good if he wants to 2-frame Link trying to get back to stage if he's just doing a normal recovery besides a bomb recovery. But it's rough. Link's damage output is better. Link's camping is better. Link's advantage state may or may not be better, but I'm not sure. But I feel like Link is just better here. And he has better range, so... you know. So someone already requested a character. Let's do Peach. Peach I'm going to be placing in even or +1. So listen. Peach is insane with her damage output. She hits you once and kills you. But what really puts her over the edge is she is the pancake of death. Whenever she does a move like a float aerial on the ground, she pancakes super hard. So that kind of makes her hard to hit, whether it's out of shield or just in general, which is why I don't want to put it in +1 or even. But also, Link, while Link isn't a full zoner, he still has some zoner aspects. So he's still gonna throw projectiles at her, keep Peach out, throw bombs, and he's gonna wall Peach out. He does have the better hitboxes, kind of, because... well, Link doesn't pancake. He's good at keeping Peach out if they're in the air, I guess. But Peach can also edgeguard Link. So really, I'm kind of hesitant because it could be even. Maybe even or -1, but I think Link's ability to just wall Peach out constantly with boomerangs and stuff is enough. But also, Peach pancakes and hits you once and basically kills you. So there's that. Another character request has come in. We got Ness, so... Ness. So listen. Ness may beat Pikachu, but that's all about Ness really does in the meta. So basically, Link it's a sword character who uses mostly non-energy based projectiles, physical projectiles against Ness. You just wall Ness out, and his recovery, while it is hard to Edgeguard because he has a good air dodge. And, if you mess up recovery when he does the PK Thunder, he can instantly kill you. But also, just ledge trap him. And you could even hit him with bomb, because something I've learned how to do is if you shoot your arrows or boomerangs at the bomb, you use to hit some while they're doing the PK magnet, which is how they would absorb the energy. So basically, there's that. However, Ness could still kind of mess with your bomb because, and absorbing energy. And Ness has a crazy damage output, but man, Ness does not do good in this matchup. It's a sword character who doesn't really have many energy projectiles against Ness. You don't even need to, do crazy bomb stuff against us. You could literally just use your fundamentals, your sword, and boomerangs, and theirs, and you just wall them out, basically. Alright, so since Ness needs a buff? Absolutely not. Ness is fine the way he is. I love Ness. I would hate it if they buffed this character. They already did it in 9.0, and everybody hated it. Kirby needs a buff? Maybe. I don't know. He plays a good, very tutorial game. Alright, so now that no one has requested any other characters, we're going to keep going alphabetically. Bayonetta. So if you went to my last matchup chart, you wouldn't remember that I put this matchup in +1. But after playing against better players with Bayonetta, understanding the game more, and not being stupid optimistic about Link, Bayonetta has some stuff. For one, edge guarding. 2, Witch Time. Buffed Witch Time, by the way. But also, the big thing is, Link is a very jumpy character because while his ground normals are decent, they're not great. He's going to be spending a lot of time jumping with the boomerang, jumping with the nair, jumping with the forward air. And since Bayonetta destroys jumping characters, she just goes ham on Link and just does her combos. Now, the reason why I haven't made a -2 tier is because I don't think Link has any -2s. But what really saves this matchup is sometimes Bayonetta doesn't kill you. And in my opinion, you can also, when she's trying to recover, if she bounces off the ledge or doesn't get to the ledge immediately, you blow up the bomb with a ledge trap. She's also light, so if you do land hits on her, her stock can end very early, which can swing the game. However, the fundamental flaw is that Bayonetta could snipe Link out of the air, edge guard, and because she goes well against heavier zoners, she just Witch Times a boomerang and then hits you probably. But Bayonetta not being able to kill is what holds us from being a -2 in my opinion. Next character, Bowser. This is a matchup that I haven't really changed my mind on. Maybe it's because I have a lot of experience against Bowser because I did a bunch of online tournaments. Then when I did offline, I just beat Bowser. But this matchup just doesn't seem fun for Bowser because he just gets advantaged. He gets edge guarded. And yeah, sure, if Bowser hits you once, he can instantly kill you or do like 50. Okay. But Bowser also has to get in. And I feel like Boomerang does enough against Bowser. You could also space out your forward airs. Nair is stupid. You just don't. Now, he does have the good out of shield option in up B. If you Nair up B, he can up B. But also, just force Bowser. Just camp out Bowser. Force him to approach. And then, he just doesn't get in. He gets edge guarded. And once you have him in the air, especially on platforms, I feel like you can juggle him with bomb or just your arrows in general. Because his disadvantage is kind of exploitable because it's very simple. He's going to try to down air or down B. And you punish it over and over again. And once you get him off stage, he dies. He loses that aspect of extreme weight because you just edge him constantly with your bombs or just your nairs in general. Like, I'm not afraid of going against a Bowser unless they're really better than me because Bowsers who can just exploit mid-level players, they're obviously going to make Bowser look top tier, but please tell person that Marth sucks. Well, Marth is, since there's a request, Marth is going in even or -1. So listen. I'm pretty sure that Lucina might also be in this tier. I made a matchup chart before this, so I will maybe put her in this tier, but I'm not sure. But Marth is just inconsistent. Like, yeah, he can tipper you, and when he's tippering you, obviously it's a -1, but he doesn't land his tippers consistently. And then you have the flaws of Lucina where his recovery doesn't go the farthest. It's still good, but the air mobility where you can just juggle them or keep them off stage is pretty strong in my opinion. Now, obviously, if a good Marth does land the tippers and all of that, obviously, yeah. But Link doesn't have to be precise. He can just nair freely at the character or throw out forward airs and not worry about the proper spacing. Or better yet, he can use his boomerang and somewhat wall Marth out, though since it is Lucina, that may not work all the time. Marth does kind of not really work in this game, which is why I'm kind of hesitant, because why would anybody play Marth if there's just Lucina? And yeah, he doesn't have good landing hitboxes, doesn't have the best air mobility, so you can kind of keep him in disadvantage for a while with Link. Edge guarding, but also sword character with good frame data, so, and against Link, so that's why I'm kind of shifty with this one. Well, I did tell that person that Marth sucks, so there you go. Bowser Jr., a matchup that I didn't put in my matchup chart last time because I had no idea how this character functions. And to be honest, I still don't know how this character functions. This is one of the matchups that I'm kind of hesitant. Maybe I should put it in even or +1, but it just seems like to be in Link's favor because Link's neutral is better since he's always doing cart. Link can interrupt cart with boomerangs and his nairs. Bowser Jr. also doesn't have the best time getting down. Bowser Jr. can get edge guarded. And oh man, once Bowser Jr. flies out of his cart, you just hit him and you kill him. I feel like Bowser Jr. also doesn't have the best frame data. Like, it just outclasses the character because Bowser Jr. is just one of those characters where he's decent, but, you know. However, I really don't exactly know too much about Bowser Jr., so if this matchup can change, but I'm pretty confident saying it's +1. Well, Byleth. So, last time this was +1, and I'm still leaning towards +1 a little bit more, but MKLeo kind of sauces people with this character, and that's making me second-guess myself a little, because while Link is a zoner, and he can use his boomerang to have kind of more range than Byleth, he still isn't the greatest zoner. Link is more swordy, and Byleth has a range to kind of contest other swordies who are kind of all about spacing and defense and stuff. But also, Byleth doesn't exactly have the best out shield options. Like, they're pretty good, but not the best. I'm pretty sure up B can be good. And obviously, Byleth spacing, if you're going swordy to swordy, might be in Byleth's favor, but also Link has more creativity with the bomb. Boomerang helps out a lot. And Link has Nair on shield, which is very safe for, especially on a character like Byleth. So, yeah. Also, I feel like Byleth doesn't have the best time landing because all they can really do is just Nair because they don't have the best air mobility, so Link can kind of just move under him and just keep up with him. So, yeah. Captain Falcon. This character is even. I'm just going to clear up a misconception right now. Link doesn't... Just because it's a rush down character doesn't mean Link automatically loses. Because, yes, Captain Falcon can run in and instantly kill Link, whatever. But also, Nair is stupid. Captain Falcon doesn't have the best backdash, so Boomerang is a good tool in my opinion. I feel like also when you're in the air, having the tools like Nair and forward air can help. And edge guarding Captain Falcon, while his recovery got better, it also still is exploitable. Like, I feel like you can just go down and just nair him before he throws out the move and just keep him far enough away from the stage so that way, even if he uppies, he doesn't get back. Obviously, Captain Falcon is a fast faller, but that doesn't really matter exactly because Link isn't really a combo character unless you're counting the forward air stuff, but apparently you can DI those. So it's kind of a thing of where if Falcon gets the hit, he might kill you or do a bunch of damage. But also, Link has the tools to make sure that he doesn't exactly always get the hit. Or if he does get the hit, it's some niche option. At least in my opinion. Another even matchup is Chrom. Again, Link doesn't automatically lose the rushdown. Stop believing that. Now I am gonna say that Roy and Chrom, they're both gonna be an even in my opinion. In fact, I'll just put Roy here now so that way we can get him out of the way. But in Chrom's case, you have consistent fast sword options, even faster than Lucina. But also, Link has an air. Link has out of shield options, but like Chrom does. Like they kind of like cancel each other out with their abilities. But what really affects this matchup and puts it into even instead of just -1 or even or -1 is the fact that Link has the ability to make sure Chrom doesn't get back to stage. Chrom's recovery is heavily exploitable, and basically, if you blow up the ledge with a bomb, or just throw the item out in general and just gimp him, or just throw out random stuff that hits him away from the stage, you'll be fine. Like, you do not have to worry. But also, when Chrom is on stage, in many cases, he's gonna potentially hit you and kill you. However, I do feel like Link has, like against many rushdown characters, he has good tools because he has Nair. So basically, that kind of makes it easier to deal with pressure, in my opinion. As for Roy is more interesting because Roy has a better recovery. Still exploitable because I feel like you can throw a bomb out there and make sure that he doesn't get back to stage. But Roy doesn't have the consistent sword hitboxes. Like, yeah, if he hits you with a sweet spot, he's obviously going to hit you and kill you. Sure. But also, Link can kind of space around those hitboxes with his sword, which can really help out the matchup. Nair is stupid. They both have great out of shield options, so it kind of like cancels each other out on that aspect. But what really helps him is the fact that... Sorry about that. What really helps him is that Link can still edgeguard him. So, yeah. They're kind of in the same boat because they're Echo Fighters, but also... kind of not. They have like their own individual things in the matchup. So, over time, my opinion on Cloud has changed. I'm starting to think that Cloud is actually a good character, and I was wrong about the character. But the thing is that I still don't want to put him in even because I still feel like Cloud can be edgeguard. People are really hyping up Cloud because, as you know, Spargo is going insane and popping off with the character. Sure. But no one's really looking at the flaws just yet. I feel like Link's out of shield options against Cloud are very strong. The edge guarding is good, and also Link can kind of camp him when he has limit. Link could also kill him. But the thing is that Cloud's stuff is pretty hard to parry. Once you parry it, you can get a good punish, but punishing Cloud stuff isn't the easiest, at least in my opinion. Alright, so next matchup. Corrin. Basically, it is everything I said about Byleth, but worse. Corrin doesn't have as much range or good attacks as Byleth. So that means Corrin gets walled out more. Like, there isn't really too much to say here, because it's basically the same flaws as Byleth, because Byleth is basically just Corrin too. But Corrin's recovery is worse, so she gets edge guarded more. Her burst option is completely overrated by online, so that sucks. She doesn't have as much range or like anti-swordy moves, so that also sucks. Yes, you can be hit by the forward air or a forward smash or a neutral B, but Link just walls Corrin out so hard. Not so hard because once like he throws out an up air, he can keep Link in the air, but realistically, Corrin is just a worse version of Byleth. Slow sword character, burst option isn't great. Yeah. Diddy Kong. So, I've seen mixed opinions about this. Jamma, the Link, who's posted a matchup chart, which I got some opinions from, says that this matchup is even or +1. I've seen Tweak put this in a losing matchup for Link, and I've seen other Diddy Kongs put this in a winning matchup for Link. Personally, I think I'm gonna put it in even or -1. I've seen someone say Inkling, or my friend just texted me Inkling. I'll do Inkling next. I completely zoned out. I'm getting into it, but I'll do Inkling next. So Diddy Kong has Banana, and Link does somewhat zone Diddy out with Boomerang, but the thing is that Link is more kind of a swordy than Diddy, or Young Link or Toon Link, I mean. And what makes that an issue is that Diddy Kong is an anti-swordy character. So once he throws Banana at you, then he's going to hit you and kill you instantly. However, I do feel like if Link did have Diddy Kong's Banana, with Nairs, it can work. Diddy Kong's recovery is also exploitable, which is why, at least it's not a -2. I'm still not sure about this matchup because I haven't gone against a Diddy Kong, and I haven't seen Lynx go against a Diddy Kong. Also, I feel like not everybody has learned the Diddy matchup just yet because Tweak has come back with this amazing super buffed character. Now it's time we learn how to fight this super amazing buffed character. But Diddy Kong can do damage against Link because Link is a slow sword character, but, you know. Alright, so Inkling. This is an opinion that is a hot take, but hasn't changed for me. Inkling doesn't kill. Inkling struggles against zoners. Link, now I keep switching my opinion on if Link is a zoner. He's a hybrid character, and while he's a bit more swordy than zoner at points, he can just cover the ground with Boomerang. And basically, that hurts really badly because Inkling doesn't have the best hitboxes besides back air, so you know Link is going to jump up there with a forward air or just nair at her. But also, because Inkling can't kill, you know, you can't really do much because suddenly Link is going to get the snowball effect on you, where suddenly he takes a stock and starts camping you out, which means you have to approach with mediocre options, and while your dash is good and your mid-range is good, Link does it better with Boomerang and his moves. So, yeah. Anyways, next character, since we're going out of alphabetical order, is Donkey Kong. Basically, the thing is with Donkey Kong is you hit him once and you kill him. Obviously, Donkey Kong has Ding Dong and stuff, but you hit him once and kill him. You keep him in the air. And basically, what happens is that Donkey Kong just doesn't get in. He gets edge guarded. He gets juggled. Bomb forward air, like the bomb fair loops, just kill him. He can't DI out of him because any combo works on Donkey Kong. It's rough for him. Like, I don't exactly see what Donkey Kong can do besides give up. Obviously, if the player's better, sure, he'll win, but matchup charts are basically if you're going against someone of equal skill level with the characters, how many sets will you win? And I don't think Donkey Kong will win more sets than a Link. Link heavily has the advantage here by a complete landslide. And another character who falls into that category is Dr. Mario. So, basically, Dr. Mario basically has the flaws of Mario where he struggles to get in and stuff, like Mario does against sword characters. But also, Dr. Mario doesn't have Flood, so edge guarding Link isn't as much of an issue. Dr. Mario is also slower, so he gets kept out more, and edge guarded more, and juggled more, and everything else. Yes, Dr. Mario has a cape. So what? Just use your sword. You can edge guard him by throwing the bombs out to him. Like, Dr. Mario can't do much here. It's probably worse than Donkey Kong at this point, but, you know. Alright, Duck Hunt was another matchup that I didn't rank last time. Personally, I think it's going to be an even or -1. I played this one in tournament, offline, and I got blown up by this. But also, I haven't played against a Duck Hunt competitively because who plays Duck Hunt? At least in America. In Japan, yeah, the character's relevant, but here, so I'm a little bit not unsure where to put this matchup. Honestly, it could be here. It could be a winning matchup. But the thing is, when Duck Hunt knows what they're doing with the cannon stuff, he hits so hard. He hits you with all those stuff. And it's insane because he keeps Link out because Link is slow and Duck Hunt is the better zoner. But also, Duck Hunt can't kill. Doesn't have the best disadvantage because he can get juggled and edge guarded. And also, Link has more range. But it's kind of weird because Duck Hunt is the better zoner, so he can wall Link out. But Link has the more options when he gets in. It's very weird. Could see it in even. Could see it in -1. Yeah. Where is Ridley? You're not gonna like this opinion. +2 or worse. This matchup's very easy for Link. Edge guarding, juggling, fair loops, out neutrals. Link has a lot. Ridley has a lot of range, but so does Link, and Link can just nair and forward at him for neutral. Throw out the boomerangs that keep Ridley constantly screwed up. Fair loops work on the character. You probably can't edge guard him as easily, but it's still pretty bad. Now, I do want to say that Ridley does have an easy time getting off the ledge because for some reason they decided that was a good idea to give a heavy, good ledge options, but in neutral and on stage, Link is going to win basically any interaction. Rude? Yeah, well, sorry, Ridley sucks. That's harsh. Ridley's decent, but Link just kind of destroys these characters. Falco. Whew. It's either even or +1. I'm not sure what I want to put him in, but I'll put him in even for now. So obviously Falco has that unique charm where his advantage state is absolutely insane, does 80, can kill you instantly because Falco has an anti-projectile tool in the Reflector, but if Falco doesn't get the hit, he has to play his mediocre neutral, and his neutral isn't that good. Recovery isn't that good. And I feel like once you're out of Falco's kill combos, you can actually make the gigantic comeback. I could be biased because one of my friends plays Falco and we practice before we go to tournaments. So I could be biased in me just knowing the matchup, but Falco just struggles when he doesn't get the hit. In fact, I'm going to change my mind. I'm going to put this in even or +1. Despite the fact that Link has boomerang that can get reflected, just don't throw out the boomerang constantly. Use your sword with punish to up tilt, and yeah. Obviously, the reason why it's not automatically +1 is because when Falco gets a hit and he may kill you. Next. Oh yeah, and I forgot Falco can spike your recovery if you're doing the up B and not bomb recovery, or even in the bomb recovery. Next up is Fox. So I said Fox was a -2 back in the day. Kind of disagree with it. Now, I'm going to place it in even or -1, leaning more towards -1. I played this one tournament, but the person was a better player than me. Actually, I played it in friendlies too at another tournament in a different region, which is interesting. But I feel like Falco is fast with a reflector, which is a big deal because he actually has the ability to rush Link down because reflector, and he also has Nair, Link's Nair basically, which can lead into much deadlier combos than Link's can. But also, I feel like Link's out of shield options and Link's Nair and his edgeguard can kind of keep it up with Fox at some points. Fox is very much a glass cannon, and Fox can die very easily to some of Link's attacks, such as forward air, Nair edgeguarding, up BS shield, up smash out of shield, but it's not the cleanest matchup. It might as well be -1, but I kind of want to say even or -1 because basically if you do land an edgeguard on Fox and you have Nair and you just stay on point, you actually can do decent damage against Fox. Ganondorf, worst character in the game still. I don't know what Ganon does. Because unlike Ridley or Donkey Kong, he's slow. His recovery's even worse than them. His burst options suck. Like, his burst options are very punishable as long as you know what you're doing. Like, you have to mess up, or the player will be better than you to lose a matchup. But yeah, Ganondorf is a very incomplete character because he is a slow character who doesn't have the tools to get in. He doesn't have a reflector. Like, this is probably Link's best matchup because Ganondorf. So, there isn't really much to say here. Link just kind of does whatever he wants against Ganondorf, and he's fine. Greninja, probably -1 still. So, I think last time I put this in +1 because out of shield options. And while Link's Nair is good on Greninja's shield, Greninja's a heavily momentum, movement-based character, I mean. So basically, he could go under Link's Nair and then punish him for it. And because Link's Nair is such a massive part of his gameplay, that kind of screws with him a little. However, Link can still punish side B with his out of shield options if he shields it, or just edge guarding in general. But Greninja's fast. I don't feel like the zoning out Greninja is that bad because if he's gonna throw water shurikens at you, Link can walk up with just his Hylian shield, just walk up slowly and take it. But the big thing is that Greninja is an anti-sword character, so you know. Well, he's actually a good anti-sword character, unlike Inkling here. But he could go under Nairs. He can go under most of Link's aerial attacks. And that's what really holds the matchup back, in my opinion. Hero is +1. Don't be fooled by all the hero hype. You see, Hero's good in Japan because people in Japan, they still attack bounce with projectiles sometimes because, you know, yeah. Link is the better sword character in my opinion because his moves are faster, he has an air forward air, and tools like that. Boomer, he can kind of interrupt Hero by playing in the mid-range with some boomerangs and stuff, just outside of that big lightning attack thing. And, yeah. Obviously, if Hero gets bounce, or gets one of his crazy spells like Accelerate, or big damage move, I forget what they're called, he, like, just destroys you. But also, you can do a good time to make sure that Hero doesn't get these spells. And you can juggle him, not really edgeguard him, but you're just a better sword character here. And consistently having Boomerang, Arrow, just helps so much. Alright, so I see someone saying Mythra, and then I'll do Rob, because someone's requesting that. So, I'm not going to put this separately in the thing, but Mythra probably is still a -1 by herself, and Pyra is probably a +1 here, just for the record. But because you're going to be playing Mythra most of the time, I want to put it in even or -1 because Link's Nair does go well against a lot of Mythra's attacks. Mythra's attacks are also not the safest on shield, which kind of also helps the matchup. It really just depends on when people get good at foresight, because when they start foresighting your Nairs and stuff, yeah. But Mythra isn't as safe on shield as people think, in my opinion. You have Link's Nair, forward air, and stuff like that. But also, when Mythra gets a hit, she kills you. And obviously, Pyra is a slow, bad sword character, so Link is obviously going to destroy them. If Mythras get better at... I do want to still say even or -1, also because Link can edgeguard the crap out of both of them, like, really badly. Both of their recoveries are so exploitable. And Pyra, if Mythra isn't killing, Pyra isn't going to get the job done. But also, Foresight. And Mythra is fast. So I'm going to put it in even or -1. Probably leaning more towards -1, but if... Ice Climbers, this matchup sucks. Zoners against Ice Climbers. Zoners against Ice Climbers. You just constantly keep them out with their mediocre ranged tools. You kill Nana instantly. You out of shield them. They struggle to kill in general. There really isn't much to say here. I could be wrong because who plays the Ice Climbers? They are by far the most obscure character in the game because nobody plays them. I know Big D exists, but also no one knows what they're doing against them because who knows how to fight the Ice Climbers really? You just constantly zone them out. They don't get in. And then when they desync, you just shoot for Nana. And then if you get a stock lead on... If you just get like a percent lead on Popo, you just don't even try to kill him. You just zone him out. Oh wait, I forgot to do Rob. I'll do Rob now. So Rob, I said it was even last time. However, Rob has a unique ability. As soon as they get the hit, they kill you. To a very extreme degree. They can spike your recovery, whether it's a bomb recovery or an up B. They have better range. Now, I do believe you can add a shield option them with Nair if you start parrying it. And obviously, if you keep Rob in the air, he's obviously going to have a very hard time. And if you get good at recovering, I mean, Edgeguard and Rob, but Rob's recovery can be mixed up. Rob is just a very explosive character here, and people underestimate how stupid his disadvantage is because his recovery is better than people think with he could scrounge under the stage and stuff. Yeah. Ike. Ike is kind of a struggle because... Well, Link is a struggle for Ike because Ike, if you parry his Nair, which is his main option still, even after the buffs, or just parry his stuff in general, add a shield option in. You use your projectiles kind of to give yourself more range. You use Boomerang. Recovering, if he does his high recovery, it can be hard to edgeguard because he just does quick draw above you, just flies across the stage. That could be annoying. But also, if he has to recover low, you just put the bomb on the stage, and when he, just at the right moment, when he's at the stage but hasn't clipped to the stage yet, he blows up. And you just constantly do that. If he has to recover low, he loses. Link has better range because of Boomerang. Yeah. But also, if he does hit you once, he can still kill you. You kind of have to, like, outspace Ike, which isn't the easiest to do because Ike has big, scary sword. But with Boomerang, you can win this matchup and keep Ike out. You hate Rob with a burning passion? Facts. Character's busted. Character's busted. Did you know that Rob has the most results in Smash Ultimate and they haven't nerfed his character yet? What is that about? Why hasn't Pikachu gotten nerfed yet? Well, no one plays Pikachu. Besides ESAM. Incineroar. Incineroar, it's interesting because I went against an Incineroar in friendlies and I did not play the matchup correctly. However, you cannot projectile spam against this character. Let's make that clear. Do not projectile spam against him because he will revenge all of them and he will kill you. But the thing is, if you play outside of his mid-range, and outside the old whip, you punish him. He's slower than you, and you can edge guard him, though his recovery isn't as bad as people say. It's still bad, but isn't as bad. But also, he still has heavy flaws where he can get juggled and stuff. He's a very scary +2. I really think that if you just play the matchup correctly, you'll be fine. But if you're not playing the matchup correctly or you're having an off day, it's scary because we've seen the Mystery Soul do a lot of damage at tournaments because Ultimate's extremely balanced, so he can low tiers and lower mid tiers can still get in and win. But I feel like if you just play the mid range correctly, you'll be fine. Isabelle. So Isabelle doesn't have any of the good options Villager has. And Villager's already a matchup I'm a little bit optimistic about. Isabelle doesn't kill. Isabelle doesn't have range. So why isn't it +2? Pocket. I'm just going to say this now. I was probably going to say this in my eventual tiers, but if Isabelle didn't have Pocket, she would be the worst character in the game. Or bottom 3. Pocket is what screws with matchups because she takes your bomb and suddenly you can't recover. Like, a lot of people don't think Link is good because of his resource management. But I feel like that's a bit overblown. But Isabelle can take your bomb and you can't blow it up. So that's what holds it back. But also you can just... That, like, only really matters for recovering because in every other aspect, Link is gonna just outkill Isabelle, outrange Isabelle, outzone Isabelle. It's just not fun for this character. Joker. Very momentum-based character. Very safe on shield. Very fast. This matchup is probably Link. In my opinion, this is probably Link's worst matchup. By, like, probably his worst. Still -1 because I feel like I'm bad at the matchup. My friend plays Joker, so it's kind of hard for me to, like, say, hey, how do I do this? Because my friend, Joker, is very momentum-based. When he gets Arsene, he goes insane. But if you're just naring, I feel like you can do decent against it. But Joker really has a good advantage here. But also, Link can do stuff in this matchup because he can kill. He has Nair and forward air. Mostly Nair. I'm seeing a bunch of people spam different characters. I already did Joker. I'll do Yoshi next. Yoshi's one of my bracket demons, to be honest. Because Yoshi is a character that if you don't know what you're doing against, he's the mid and below player killer. But also, it's a sword character against Yoshi. Just try to camp him out. Just try. And it really works very well. Because basically, Yoshi doesn't do well against range. You can camp him out also with Boomerang. And I just feel like, obviously, if Yoshi does his, like, stupid stuff because it's Yoshi where he hits you once it kills you, you do not try to go for any sort of combos with this character. You just get your hit and go back to camping him out because, oh my god, Yoshi can get outranged by sword characters or all the Fire Emblem characters if you hold forward against them. But as soon as Yoshi gets a hit, ooh, it's scary. Ooh, do Jigglypuff. Sorry, Jackson, your character still sucks. I know Base Mage is going insane with the character. Yes. But Link is a sword character who's also somewhat of a zoner. Puff doesn't get in. And with Link doing bomb recoveries, you just fly past any edgeguard attempt Puff tries to do. Obviously, Puff still has the ability to do a swing, but basically, she just doesn't get in. She doesn't get to do what she wants because Link is constantly walling her out. Next up is going to be probably Kazuya. Kazuya's a new character. I think it's +1. You have to just be dedicated at camping this character out completely. You have to camp him out so hard, and you can't just spam Boomerang because he can reflect it. But because Kazuya is very slow, and now the movement hasn't been optimized yet, so once Kazuya gets movement optimized, he could end up down in this area. But for right now, because the movement hasn't evolved yet, and Link has more range, and Kazuya's slow in the air, can get edge guarded, it's a +1 because Link can do all edge guarding and stuff like that. Edge guarding, juggling, and basically everything. But also Kazuya gets a character once it kills you. Let's see, what other characters can I do? My friend just spammed a bunch of characters. I won't do all of them because I'm lazy, because I also want to go in alphabetical order. But I'll just throw some random characters in that my friends play. Rosa. So, yeah. Rosa does well against zoners, but just don't spam Boomerang constantly. Link is a heavy swordy. He falls into a swordy here. You want to play him sword style. And you can also edgeguard her recovery because it doesn't have a hitbox. You basically just destroy Luma constantly. And then once you get on Rin on Rosa because you have more range, you go to town. Nairs and forward airs just kind of destroy this character. And Rosa struggles. Obviously, she could do her attack cancel shenanigans, but it's pretty bad for Rosa. Because not only is Link a sword, but he's a heavy sword. So when he hits like a truck. And if he gets an out shield option on Rosa, at like 90ish or 100, because she's so light, she's just gonna explode. I guess since I'm gonna keep going alphabetical order now. Uh, Ken is +1 in my opinion. Could be even or +1, but Link just walls Ken out. Ken can't camp, but it's also not like obviously when he gets in, he's gonna hit you once and kill you, right? But Ken can't camp. So you just out-camp him because his Hadouken isn't that good. You edge guard him, you keep him in the air, and just try to bait out the super armor move. And thankfully, Link doesn't have any extreme combos, so hopefully they won't throw out focus too much. Ken gets in, he kills you. But Link can just be dedicated to say, hey, I'm just going to stay far away from you. I'm going to zone you out with my projectiles, and then edge guard you. And when I get a boomerang, I'm going to forward air you, hit you off stage, get the edge guard or edge trap. Next is King Dedede. Oh, we're going down to the list of bad characters where Link just wins. Rapid fire time. You hit back Gordo. You hit back Gordo with Nair and whatever move you want, and Dedede loses the matchup. Link can also just do whatever he wants to Dedede with fair loops, throw the bomb around the stage and stuff. Link just does whatever he wants to Dedede. Obviously, Dedede can still get ledge traps, but not much you can do. King K. Rool. So, King K. Rool is kind of a worse version of Link because he throws out a boomerang-like projectile, but Link can use the crowd to fair loop him, which is I find kind of funny. K. Rool can get edge guarded. K. Rool's neutral isn't that good. You can just outplay the crap out of K. Rool and you'll be fine. You just have to know how to fight K. Rool with your edge guarding, juggling, and everything, and you'll be fine. Next character is Kirby. Kirby struggles badly in this matchup. It's very interesting because Kirby has a good ground game, but when you throw boomerang at him, it forces him to either shield or go into air. And if you just keep constantly camping him out and platform camping him, he's going to have to use his jumps. And the problem is with his jumps is they're very slow. His aerials, while they do damage and can combo, can be heavily outraged with Link's sword. Kirby's light, so basically he kills Kirby early because Link is strong. It's bad. The edge guarding isn't too bad, and obviously he can still spike you, but Kirby, it's a nightmare to get in as Kirby, whether you're on a flat stage or a platform stage. Next character, Little Mac. You control obviously, Little Mac got some very interesting buffs recently where he can forward smash out your shields for some reason and do amazing. But also, it's Little Mac where his air game sucks, his recovery sucks. So you just exploit those by forcing him to go into air, and you just platform camp him. Just camp him out, stay as far away from him as possible, and you'll be fine. Then you edgeguard him. Next character is going to be Lucario. Lucario, like, I know a long time ago I thought this character was like bottom 5, but my opinion has gone up with Armadillo going saucy in tournaments and just thoughts in general. I'm going to place this one in -1 because Link could obviously still camp out Lucario very hard. But also, when Lucario gets a lead, he goes off. And Link doesn't have like a crazy, I'm going to kill you advantage state. He can obviously wall Lucario out when he gets a kill and just run away constantly. But it's really going to come down to your out of shield options and getting to read rather than getting a combo that kills at 40. Which is why I kind of move it from +2 or worse to +1. Lucas. I don't remember much of what I specifically said it from my past matchup chart, but this matchup is not fun for Lucas. I remember saying this about Lucas, how it was almost even. That is a lie. This matchup sucks for Lucas. It's like Ness, except the zoning's mediocre. You don't have to worry as much when you edgeguard him. Obviously, PK freeze and down smash ledge trapping can still keep Link from recovering, but you just wall him out with your sword attacks. You keep him in the air. Basically, same stuff applies with PK Magnet. You use the bomb hit stun, then blow up the bomb. But yeah, it's a sortie against Lucas. And Link can actually keep Lucas in the air a lot, so it's pretty rough for Lucas. He still has tools to swing it, but not a fun matchup. Lucina. Wait, that's Dark Pit. I'm gonna place her in even or -1. Probably -1. I'm probably being way too optimistic right now about my character. Because Lucina has a very quick, efficient sword attacks, which can do a very good job at winning the game. But I feel like Link can actually exploit some stuff about Lucina. If Link gets a fair loop on her around 60, she's just going to explode. Lucina's also floating in the air, so if she whiffs an attack, you can shield it, or you can jump up with a forward air. Link's attacks do more damage when they hit, but also Lucina can edge guard you, or edge trap you, or juggle you. Probably is -1, but I feel like Link's Snare and a couple of other tools can potentially make this even because Link's strong. He can edge guard her by keeping her away. She struggles to get off the ledge, so you keep bomb on the ledge, and she struggles with your Link edge trapping. And she doesn't have great tools to get down, so she just doesn't. She still probably destroys Link in many aspects, but there are also times where I feel like Link actually can do a good job if you just outplay him. Luigi's been going off at tournaments. And just to get the meme out of the way, I still hate Luigi. I still hate Luigi a lot. But, even with Luigi going up in many people's eyes, Link can still play enough as a zoner to make sure that Luigi doesn't get in. His airspeed is slow. Despite the fact that a lot of his aerials combo, if you space out your moves perfectly, he's not going to get in and land a kill combo. So, obviously he has the invincibility shenanigans with Tornado, but just wait it out. I feel like since Elegant's going on a rampage, now people really need to start heavily camping Luigi and learning how to fight Luigi. Mario. I've played this matchup a lot, and I have to say, it might be one of my favorite matchups in the game, at least with Link. So, basically, with Mario, if he gets in, he's going to kill you. He has Flood, so he can edge guard you. But if you play Link like a sword character, and Boomerang, kind of mix up your Boomerang so he's just going to throw a cape, and take advantage of the fact that Mario, when he doesn't kill, he can kind of struggle. Ooh, man. Suddenly, the matchup actually seems very doable. Obviously, Mario has that funny ability where he hits you once and he kills you. He can flood your recovery. But also, getting in against Link's sword can be a struggle, especially with how strong it is. And Link can raw kill better than Mario can raw kill. Mario has spammable kill moves, but they're not the best spammable kill moves. Where Link, if you just parry some of Mario's stuff, you just destroy him. Mega Man, probably one of my least understood matchups. So, this is just going off of what somebody said at a Twitter matchup chart that I saw. Apparently, Nair just shreds through all of what Mega Man does, and they can get in on the character. But also, getting in on Mega Man could also be a nightmare. Basically, yeah. And Link's Nair is one of the dumbest moves in this game, and just being able to shred through projectiles like Pellet and Leaf Shield, oh my god, that helps. Maybe it could be -1, because I haven't really played against many Mega Mans, so I'm still kind of on the fence with this one, but I think it's even with the fact. Also, he can kind of get edge guarded, so it's just hard for Mega Man. Next character is going to be Meta Knight. So I got sauced by some Meta Knights, but also, if Meta Knight gets the hit, he can kill. But here's the thing with Meta Knight. He struggles hard to get in. If you just dedicate to camping him out and just killing him with your massive sword, suddenly you do well. Probably is still +2. But if Meta Knight gets a hit, he kills you. But also, getting a hit from Meta Knight is a complete nightmare. Next character is going to be Mewtwo because while Mewtwo does have a reflector, Link kills Mewtwo super early, as shields him, and can kind of zone him out, though reflector's still a thing. But Mewtwo just being that floaty, and Tail isn't the biggest issue. It's more just Mewtwo's weight that's going to hurt him and not having anything to make up for that weight. So it's very hard for Mewtwo to win sometimes, but also Mewtwo has a reflector, so you can't just throw out projectiles all willy-nilly. I'm going to put Mii Brawler in +1. The thing is with Mii Brawler is the fact that while he does have the ability to instantly kill you with some combos, A, he can't raw kill you. B, he doesn't have range. So Link can kind of just wall him out. He doesn't have a reflector, so Boomerang's useful. So, yeah. And speaking of matchups that changed in my mind, Mii Gunner, because I used to be very bad at this matchup. I was going off of my experience online. And the thing is that Mii Gunner, when you get in on the character, you just destroy them. And obviously, I think most Mii Gunners use an actual recovery, so that you don't have to worry about the Out of Shield option. You can punish them, and basically, you have better hitboxes to them. Obviously, getting in on them can be hard, but Mii Gunner is just not that good of a character to begin with. So, Mii Sword Fighter, bad Sword Fighter, mediocre zoning tools, exploitable recovery. Nothing really redeemable about this matchup. It's pretty bad. There isn't really much to say. Min Min. So when Link gets in on Min Min, and Nair is being stupid, and he edgeguards her, or keeps her in the air, obviously it can be a struggle. And I think I put this matchup in even in my first matchup chart. But the problem is that getting in on Min Min is a nightmare. Because she has arms. She can kill you across the stage at 40%. What do? You just give up at that point because Min Min. But Min Min has that ability to just kill you instantly across the stage. She's an anti-zoning character, so you really just got spam Nair and get in her face and hope for the best, and sometimes that just doesn't happen. Next is gonna be Mr. Game Watch. I also put this in -2 in my previous one, but I'm starting to think that it could be even potentially. Obviously, yeah, Link Snare's not safe on shield, and that hits. Link also can't boomerang or throw bombs out because bucket. But I feel like when you're going in the air at each other, Link's sword actually does a decent amount of damage, and because he is so light, it just kills him super early. And some of Mr. Game Watch's options aren't the safest on shield, though Link's options aren't safe on shield because Mr. Game Watch. Still could be -1, but it could potentially be even. Alright, so this is one that I'm going to need a sip of water for. Pac-Man. I don't understand this matchup. At all. At all. I think I have no idea what I'm doing against Pac-Man. I will fully admit that. However, after looking at many matchup charts, apparently it's either in Link's favor or even. How? From what I've heard, Link has the better range, the out of shield options, and Explosion could go through Hydrant, which is, like, I could see how it could be a +1 for Link. I also just haven't gone against a Pac-Man who plays Pac-Man properly, because my friend plays Pac-Man like Puff, where he just kind of just runs up and kills you. And that's why I kind of hesitate with this matchup. But also, I'm starting to learn it a bit more based off of what people are going off. I still don't get it. Like, when I went against a Pac-Man in a tournament, I switched to Sephiroth just to make safe. Apparently, this matchup plus is -2 for Pac-Man in T's eyes. I don't know, but going off of what Jam of the Link says, Bomb Explosion goes through Hydrant. You have better out of shield options, and basically you have more range. Obviously, Pac-Man's camping and combos are still insane, which is why I'm not putting it in +1, but I could see it. I just need more experience against it besides my one time in tournament. Let's see. I'm gonna put in Palu next. So Palutena. Link's Nair against her is actually pretty good, better than you would think. Link's other shield options against some of her attacks are better than you think. But also Palu still is Palu, where she kills you at 70 and does a bunch of damage off of one Nair, and all of her moves are safe. But I feel like Link actually does do a decent job against her in terms of killing her, because she's light, and because she's very fundamental, you can actually kind of outplay your opponent. So I'm thinking it's even. Could be even or -1. Personally, I think it's even. Yeah. Pichu. So the reason why I hesitate with Pichu and not just put in +1 is because Pichu could still do Pichu face, where it hits you once it kills you. But if you're just dedicated to just running away and constantly keeping him out, he struggles. He also has negative range, so he really struggles. But also, slow sword character against Rat. So, what do? You just really have to dedicate yourself to camping him out. It could be +1, but because of the fact that he can still kill you when he gets that hit, I'm skeptical of it, because outcamping Pichu isn't the easiest thing to do, at least in my opinion. But it's something that I've been getting better at. Also, Nair's stupid on Pichu. He pancakes, and speaking of pancakes, Pikachu busted. It's as if Pichu, you can't camp him out. He can throw out T-Jolt whenever he wants, and completely be fine. And that sucks for Link very badly, because now suddenly Link has a hard time dealing with any of Pichu's stuff. Pichu can edge guard you very hard. The three things from what eSim says are Boomerang, Nair, and Forward Tilt. And that's what holds it back from being a complete washout. Because Pikachu can still die very easily to Link's stuff, especially his Nair. He can somewhat get walled out, but with Pikachu constantly evolving, it's just getting rough to say that this is anywhere close to a good matchup. Olimar. This is a matchup that I didn't rank in my last one, but basically the issue is with Olimar is the fact that I feel like Nair can just go through Olimar throwing Pikmin, and that's like a good chunk of his game plan. So suddenly Olimar struggles with doing basic game plan against Link. Obviously Olimar can still purple up smash you, blue up throw you, but Link can kill Olimar super easily with forward airs and nairs. Link can wall Olimar out. He can nair through Pikmin. It's kind of a rough matchup for Olimar. Not terrible, but not the best. You know what is a rough matchup, though, for the opponent? Plant. Just learn how to deal with Patui, and you're fine. Plant's one of the few characters in this game that are unviable. Like, his range is terrible. You just zone him out and bait the Patui. Obviously, ledge trapping is still pretty good, but when is Plant going to get you on ledge trap where you're just camping him out constantly and making him struggle with his horrible range and basically everything? Pit. I'm going to place this in even or +1 because Pit can do some decent camping against Link. But it's also still Pit where Link is just stronger in general, has more weight, so it's harder to kill Link. Like, the kill ratio is definitely in Link's favor. But the reflector, the burst option, and Pit's arrows to zone you out, but also kind of edgeguard you can be annoying. Pit's a very simple character. Personally, I'm leaning more towards +1 on this one, but some people are saying it's even, so I'll just give that to them right now. Though I feel like could just outkill Pit and just out-sword character him, because Pit still has his swords, but Link's sword is just better and stronger. And they're stupid. Next up is going to be Pokemon Trainer. A matchup that I have a lot of experience against. This character is my bracket demon, though. Very much my bracket demon. So, Squirtle lacks range. No doubt in my mind. Squirtle lacks range and is very fragile. But hitting him is very hard to do. So you kind of go back and forth on that one. And once you're out of his combo range, suddenly he struggles to do stuff. So then the trainer would switch to Ivysaur. And Ivysaur is probably the easiest one against Link. Like, I'd probably put Ivysaur probably in +1, to be honest. But what happens is that Ivysaur, he still has the potential to kill you instantly, but Link is also just a better zoner, and Ivysaur's disadvantage is just miserable in general. So then they switch to Charizard, and oh man, Charizard is a scary boy. Charizard's a scary character. He can kill you instantly because, you know, Charizard. But also, if you just camp him out, you know, and force him to approach and just wait for the Flare Blitz. That's a big thing. Wait for the Flare Blitz and punish him for it. Pass the skill check. And if you pass that skill check, you're fine. Because once he messes up a Flare Blitz, suddenly you just punish him for it. And you can combo him for it. Basically, against every character, Link goes back and forth against them. So it kind of just defaults to even. Next up is Richter. Even or +1. Because Richter, while he can zone you out very hard, Link's boxing game is still pretty good. Link might be able to nair through some of Richter's projectiles. Probably not through his ledge trapping, but also just learn how to fight Richter ledge trapping. Not the easiest thing to do, but once you learn, you're fine. Richter gets edge guarded super hard. Very hard in my opinion. Also, Link is better at keeping Richter in the air than Richter keeping Link in the air. So it is difficult for Richter to do stuff, but also, I feel like getting in on Richter is very hard, but I've only fought them online, so I don't know what I'm... It could be even, but also could be +1. Robin. Robin is a bad character. There's, like, not much to say here, because you just camp out Robin, and once they run out of book, you just go to town on them, edge guarding them. You have the better sword, and even though 11 sword is good, it runs out. So you constantly have this menacing sword that you can just throw at Robin and just kill them. You just juggle him. Obviously, Robin can still ledge trap and do their combos, but I feel like Robin just struggles very hard in this matchup with getting out camped, getting approached. Yeah. Ryu. So fighting Ryu, he actually has a Hadouken, which makes the matchup somewhat good, but he's slow, so you just out-camp him. It's a very lame matchup because you're just out-camping each other. I feel like Link can just edgeguard Ryu, which is why it swings here, and Link can kind of just space him out. But also, you can't just run in against Ryu. You camp him out super hard. You play as lame as possible. That's how you win. And obviously, if you keep the bomb item, they're eventually going to blow themselves up because Red Fireball is a fireball attack. So, bomb go kablooey. Next up is Samus. This matchup, Link just gets outzoned. He gets edge guarded. Obviously, Samus, you can nair through Samus's charge shot, which helps a little. And Samus getting back to the stage isn't the easiest thing to do if you're good with ledge trapping with the bomb. But the thing is, good luck doing that. However, Samus being a floaty, also helps in my opinion. But Samus, you kind of have to play very focused to get in on a Samus because Samus is just such a strong zoner. Samus is clearly the better zoner and has a bunch of anti-air stuff. So, next up is going to be Sephiroth. Sephiroth is pretty interesting because his frame data isn't that great, so you can add a shield option to him, but his range on his attacks are insane, so he can snuff you out of the air. He's very light, though, so you can kill him. Like, this is what I meant by Mewtwo not having something to compensate for his weight, because Sephiroth has the insane range, counter, and one wing. And that hits hard, but I feel like Link can kill Sephiroth pretty darn early. Also, when they're in each other's faces, Link has a better frame data, so... But you kind of have to get around Sephiroth's big sword and Shadow Flare. So it kind of goes back and forth on each other. But I feel like once you get in on a Sephiroth, you can do damage. Just good luck. Sheik. Sheik has needles, gets through your zoning, and then hits you. It kills you. Obviously, if Sheik doesn't win the trading game well, so you can nair and sometimes forward air against her, kill her early. And if she doesn't land a kill combo, sometimes she struggles to kill, but she is so fast. And she's so sneaky to get the combo with needles, can break through like zoning game. She is just a very strong character. Very underrated in my opinion. But, yeah. Ooh, we haven't hit Yink yet. Well, I'll hit Young Link right now. Young Link, very interesting character. Is very good at zoning. Don't get me wrong. Projectile, he wins the zoning game. And he can combo and kill you. But Link has the stronger sword. When they're in each other's faces, Link can scrap better than Young Link in my opinion because he has more range, more power on his hits so he can land kills. But also, Young Link can just throw an arrow at you and then suddenly you have 90% on you. But also, Young Link can get edge guarded, killed earlier. Link can outkill Young Link because sometimes Young Link struggles to kill where Link just needs to land a forward air, an up smash, or up B out of shield. So it kind of just swings around a little in my opinion. Probably is -1, but my only experience against Young Links are online. So I kind of want to wait until I go against one offline. One that I don't know the person, because the problem is that I've gone against my friend all the time who's better than me. But also, since we hang out constantly, he knows how I play at this point. But also, if you want to say your opinion in the chat, go ahead, because I'm really down to hear this matchup. Because I've only played it online. And I feel like if Link can outkill Young Link, but good luck, because Young Link can suddenly get an arrow and then boom, there goes your stock. Shulk. My Xenoblade boy from my favorite game of all time. Yes. However, so listen, when Shulk gets speed, he has the... I feel like Link has a better frame data, but Shulk is also hard and he can get out-camped sometimes. Like, Shulk's resource management is very hard to deal with. And what happens is that if he gets a shield dart, you just run away. And then once he doesn't have shield art and you're in his face where he can't just Monado switch, suddenly you have an easier time of dealing with against him. But he has all these crazy arts like Buster. He's going to zone you out with Buster. He's going to run around speed. He's going to recover with Jumper. He's going to kill you with Smash Art. But also, if he messes up any of those, especially Smash Art with how strong Link is, there goes his stock as well. Shulk is a very hard character to play, which is kind of what's holding him back. Could be even a -1 or even in the -1 tier because we just haven't seen Shulks after the nerfs really do much because we haven't heard much of them besides Kome. We haven't seen it against Link is what I'm saying. Snake. I said this matchup was even. Alright, we're reading the Young Link's opinion. Yink outcamps Link, and otherwise is stronger neutral. Link's hitboxes out prioritize Ying's and has better range, so Link wins in the mid range. That's fair. I completely agree with that. But the reason why I don't want to put an even just yet is because you still have to get through Young Link's stronger neutral. But also, it's a very swingy matchup. Edgeguards go both ways, but Link's bombs gives him more options. I have Link in hard even. Like your perspective, though. Well, in that case, I don't want to put it in just yet. I do want to fight against Young Link offline before I put it in even. But I could definitely see where you're coming from on this. So we're just going to wait on that opinion a little. Snake, on the other hand. So as time goes on, Snake is just insane with his zoning. Link just gets blown up trying to do anything against Snake. Obviously, when Snake is in disadvantage, like in the air, or when Link gets a hit on him, he could do a bunch of damage on him. But the problem is, you have to get in on Snake's insane neutral, and the Snake is going to constantly just blow the stage up, so it's hard to do anything with bomb and stuff. I hope we meet in bracket. Me too. That would be a really fun one, because I always joke around with people, oh, you didn't like playing against that young Link? Oh, how do you feel about playing against adult Link? But Snake blows up the stage, so it's very hard for Link to get in, and then when Snake gets in with a dash attack through Link zoning, you're going kaboom, and you lose. Next up is Sonic. I'm gonna play Sonic in even or +1. So Sonic is a strong character with his camping. Maybe over-exaggerated how good he was in my last tiers, because I believe I put him in high tier, then jumped and said, hey, he was top 15 because I overthought it. But the thing is with Sonic is that whoever gets the first hit and percentage lead seals the fate of the game. Because if Sonic gets 40% on you, he's going to run away. Or he gets a stock lead on you, good luck coming back because you're a slow character. But also, Sonic doesn't have great hitboxes in my opinion. Which really hurts him trying to get in with Boomerang. And in the air, Link definitely wins a hitbox game in the mid-range. So it probably is even, but I feel like Sonic getting a hit is a bit more difficult for Sonic. So I'm going to say it's even or +1 for now. Can see it probably being an even. Leaning more towards even, but yeah. Sora. Probably should have made an I don't know tier for Sora. I guess I can talk about it, right? I'm not going to put him in the tier yet. So, someone in the set said, Shulk, yes, love my Monado boy. So, let's see. With Sora can edgeguard and stuff, and do all of his crazy stuff. But also, Link can throw boomerangs at Sora and kill him very easily because he's very floaty. Kinda he can't really edgeguard him because his recovery is weird. Sora can kill earlier, but also Link has some strong hits. I'm gonna place this in even or -1 for right now. Honestly, this could even be a winning matchup because that's what JAMA says. But I don't have enough experience to really justify it, and it seems like Sora just has more options here with his zoning and stuff. But if times can very much change, so if you're watching this, first off, thank you for supporting me. Thank you. But if you're watching this, just keep that in mind. New matchup. Only really fought a bunch online. Haven't really put Link against a good Sora yet. Steve. Oh boy, Steve. So, Steve is very interesting because, it's Steve. His frame data is absolutely insane. Absolutely insane. He can lead trap Link. Honestly, this might be a round where Joker is where it's a pretty bad matchup. Almost -2. I feel like Link can make comebacks against them. I mean, I did in bracket because because Steve is kind of very awkward. But Steve's frame dead is insane. His neutral is whack. Good luck getting in. Steve is just busted and stupid. But I don't really know how to fight this character just yet. I did make an insane comeback against one in bracket, but it's very... I think that was him not exactly knowing what to do against Link. Personally, it's pretty bad in my opinion. Good luck getting in. I know DD says that this matchup is winning for Link. I don't see how. Maybe it's... Actually, maybe it's with Bomb. Maybe it is with Bomb exploding through the blocks, maybe? I'm going to place that... I'm going to put that in even or -1 then. Just in case, because if Bomb does blow up through the blocks, that is insane. And also, Link, when Steve is scrapping against you, you can still throw out boomerangs. So, yeah. Dylan, hi. Hi, Sarah. I'm sorry that I'm almost done with the matchups. But if you still want to request a character... You play Zelda, right? I'll do Zelda now. Why not? Oh, what did I just do? I'll throw Zelda in the chart now. So, Zelda is interesting because... Obviously, her zoning is pretty wacky and annoying to deal with her Reflector and Phantom. But the problem is that once you get in and know what you're doing against a character, you juggle her, you outrange her, you just bait out off her up B out of shield. Her stuff isn't exactly safe on Link's shield, so she just struggles to get in or just really do much against Link. Also, she struggles to get off the ledge, so you just put a bomb on there and just start naring, and then she just loses, you know? Yeah. She can still do some swingy and goofy things because it's Zelda, but it's not a good look for the character. Terry. So I went against finally found a good Terry who wasn't my friend. And oh man, Terry is scary. Terry is extremely scary. It gets around your zoning. I was completely wrong about this character on my tier list and even my previous matchup chart because Terry will get around your zoning. He will get back to stage. But also, I feel like you can sometimes juggle him. Maybe outzone him if you're very precise. I'm going to put in an even or -1 because also when he has go, he kills you. But I also feel like him being a heavy character against Link makes it easier to do fair loops. So maybe it is even, but because I still need to get more experience against Terry. But yeah. Toon Link. Even or +1. So it's basically Toon Link as if you are going against a worse version of Link, but it also still has some Link in him, where he has bomb forward air and stuff. Actually, it's +1. Toon Link isn't good. Link just has better hitboxes than Toon Link. Toon Link has bomb to forward air, which helps, but also Toon Link is a better zoner, but also Link gets in his face and he hits him and kills him. Can edge guard him because recovery. Actually, it probably isn't even or +1. Because Link can sometimes struggle. I went against one in an online bracket, which is why I'm a little hesitant to put it there. But we'll see. Next up is going to be Villager. I mentioned Villager a while back when I did Isabelle. And the thing is that you can nair through tree. You can nair through Villager's tree when he cuts it down. So that's something spicy. But also, it's pretty hard to get in on Villager sometimes with Void Rocket. But also, trying to learn a matchup against Villager is hard because A, it's online. B, no one plays Villager. Like, out of the tournaments I've been to, I've maybe seen one Villager ever. Maybe two. But Villager is such a niche character that I'm hesitant to fully put in +1, but it seems like it can be in Link's favor because Link has the better not recovery, like better hitboxes, better kill power, better damage output. But also Villager's zoning is kind of insane sometimes with, not insane, but good enough to get the job done. And Villager can do some goofy edgeguarding with Bowling Ball. But it probably is +1, but, you know. Wario. So what makes Wario such a pain in the butt is the fact that Wario, while he doesn't have great hitboxes, his air mobility just camps you out. If you just decide, hey, I'm not gonna approach against Link, and you just go back and camp with Waft and get your Waft, it's kind of brutal for Link to do much. Obviously, Wario still needs to get in to do his Waft, but his air mobility is insane. He gets in and hits you once and he kills you. It's a rough time for Link. So, next is Wii Fit. I've seen some people say it's even, but I feel like Link could kind of deal with Wii Fit at the Reg with Bomb and stuff. Wii Fit also has very janky hitboxes where Link can just kind of out-hitbox her and outrange her. Obviously, when Wii Fit gets deep breathing, she can do a lot of damage. The problem is that Wii Fit doesn't have the best approach options if she needs to approach. Obviously, she doesn't because she could just camp on the ledge. But Link can kind of approach her, and when he gets a hit, he hits her hard. Obviously. Next up is going to be Wolf. Pretty not good matchup here. Reflector doesn't help anything. And has his blaster so he can outzone you. Wolf can sometimes struggle with out of shield options and sometimes struggle with killing, but most of the time that isn't going to happen. Wolf is probably going to hit you once and kill you and just outzone you. And the last matchup is ZSS. ZSS is very overrated in my opinion. Just gonna put that opinion out there. Basically, obviously Zorosu could do her thing where if she gets a first stock, she can just run away the whole time. But also, Link's hitboxes actually function, unlike ZSS's. So, what do you do when ZSS tries to do anything? Because, what am I saying? Okay, I lost my train of thought for a second. Basically, Zorosu can outcamp you or zone you out, but also when she needs to scrap against Link, she's gonna lose. You can fall out of ZSS's combos, and there goes the matchup. So, what do you do? Obviously, when she does land a hit and things actually work, she can edgeguard you super early, but that isn't going to happen. Alright, so before I give my final verdict, I'm just going to move some characters around just to adjust my opinions real quick. So let's see. I'm going to stick... I feel like I can stick to most of these opinions. I'll stick to... Probably Palu. Probably Palu will go right there because of how insane she is. Yeah, I think that's that. Alright, so listen. So if you were gonna put this in a pessimistic matchup chart where these matchups are even and all of these are losing matchups, it doesn't look that good. Right? Because Link loses to some very relevant characters, might lose to even more relevant characters. But the thing is that if you put these in even and you put these in winning, suddenly you have a pretty solid character on your hand. However, that isn't that way, and probably most of these can be shifted around. Some will fall into even, some will fall into losing or winning. I feel like Link can do enough in the meta with this matchup start, because notice how there isn't minus twos. Maybe a couple of these are, but Link still has the tools to do well. If you were going to play him in a tournament, you could very much top 8 with this character. Possibly win with a character, though that might be hard with the amount of losing matchups he has. I feel like you can place this character solo because Bayonetta and Snake aren't the most common characters, and Joker's kind of fell out of the meta, and Steve isn't exactly the most relevant character. However, you are going to want pockets for some of these. Like, actually, I'm just going to move Steve down for now. That matchup seems pretty bad, just in my opinion. But In my opinion, Lake is probably mid or lower side of high tier, so basically still super viable. Still probably do decently well playing him solo, but not top tier because there are some. He does have a lot of losing matchups already, and then a bunch that are down here. But he definitely has the tools to definitely make it in a tournament. And with all of that said, that is it for the matchup chart. If you want to take a screenshot right here, go ahead. Oops. If you want to take a screenshot, here it is. Here's the full matchup chart. And thank you everybody who stuck with me on this journey. This took about an hour and a half. My throat is completely dying right now. So, but thank you for everybody who has listened, and thank you for everybody who is going to watch this. I promise I have videos coming out soon. Not soon, but I promise I'm trying to get stuff out. I'm sorry this channel kind of just faded in oblivion for a while, but there will be stuff coming. Thank you everybody for watching, and I will see you probably sometime in the future.